Okay, let's talk about recognizing the pitfalls of law of attraction and other types of things like that might be harmful for us girlies with ADHD, autism, depression, anxiety, addiction, or any mental health concerns. Okay, the first thing is unrealistic promises. So if people are promising the world, they're promising they're going to change your life, they're promising that they have a quick fix, or that positivity alone will bring your desires, that they're going to teach you how to attract wealth, health, happiness just by focusing on what they have to say. That's your sign. And what it feels like is initial excitement and hope, which, I mean, that's a good thing to feel in general, but the subsequent disappointment when the desired outcome is not achieved, especially if you've been going at it for a while. Blame and self-shame. And this is the one that tipped me off, because I have a deal with myself after going through trauma-informed therapy that I'm not going to feel blame or shame. So the sign is that when people are teaching you that negative experiences are your fault because of your own negative thoughts. So like, and I used to teach this when I first got my start, so I was part of the problem at one point. So if it's like, oh, you're seeing people abuse you in real life because you hate yourself, that would be an example of it. Versus there are some people that just shouldn't have access to you because they're going to harm you. You know, it's more of a boundaries issue. Another sign is encouraging you to blame yourself for not achieving your goals. So it's your fault that you did not make enough money to pay your bills last month because you didn't believe that you could. There's a fine line here, but when it feels like guilt, shame, or self-blame, and it creates more anxiety and depression when things don't go as planned, that's when we start to look at it. And this was my biggest tip off, because the whole twin flame thing made me feel like it was my fault. I felt bad about not being able to be with my person because of my own fucking problems. And I feel like I manifested them, and law of attraction was going to fix my situation. Because I think those two dynamics go hand in hand. And that's when I first, like really quickly, why I started studying shamanism and digging into Christianity a little bit more, to be like, what is this really? Because nothing that's healing, that's supposed to be for you or from God or from a divine higher power, would ever blame you and make you feel like shit. Jesus's teachings were all about love. So how to recognize if you're being told that any failure is solely due to your mindset, that you control everything in your reality. And then the other sign is being cautious if you feel pressure to maintain a facade or constant positivity. So I always say, like, the law of attraction girlies have the eye twitch and they all have stomach problems. It's because it's a facade. It's not sustainable. It works great until it doesn't. And trust me, the come down is fucking hard. All right, number 3, discourages practical action. So the signs: emphasis on visualization and affirmations over practical steps and actions. I used to listen to affirmations all night long and all day, but I didn't actually do anything to fix my situation. And I wasn't even communicating with the people in my life that I was trying to manifest to be better. Suggesting that thinking alone is sufficient without any concrete actions. Again, how delulu are we going to be? We knew we were being delulu when we did it. At least I did. What it feels like: a sense of stagnation or inaction. So it feels like nothing's happening. And that's when law of attraction is like, it's because something's right around the corner. Okay, but you're not doing anything. And then a frustration from not seeing real progress despite the positive thinking. So when it doesn't pan out, you're like, what the fuck? How to recognize that: evaluate if any advice you're getting lacks practical steps or actionable strategies, like I'm giving you right now. And then assess if there's an overemphasis on mental exercises without real world applications. So here's where I will say, like, shamanism, for instance, as a differentiator, acknowledges the same things that we manifest our realities. But if you don't like what's in your reality, you work on yourself. And it's not just self-concept and affirmations. It's actually, like, shamanic healing sessions are deep-rooted healing, where I look at your trauma in this life, or maybe you do EMDR on your trauma in this life. You have to look at your issues. You have to face your shit. Maybe we look at past lives. Maybe there's a soul retrieval that we do. We take actionable steps. Maybe we smudge. Maybe we do an auric field cleanse. Maybe we cut cords and I teach you how to not get them back. Maybe we do a tarot reading and say, hey, look, this guy's a schmuck, he's cheating on you, like, fucking move on, you know? But we take a little bit of action, even if it's with a mix of some magical thinking. All right, number 4, exploitation by charlatans. I love this word charlatans that my research keeps giving me, but I'm gonna go with it. Individuals or programs promising quick fixes or guaranteed results for a fee. I mean, just period. period. Manipulative tactics that exploit your hopes and vulnerabilities. That's your other sign. So book now, like, follow, and share. If you do this, I guarantee they will call you within 24 hours. How is anyone actually doing that? There's no amount of divination that's real from that. Or like, they always, whatever. Okay, I'll let off it. What it feels like: pressure to spend money on courses, books, or seminars. Feeling taken advantage of or scammed. How to recognize: be wary of high pressure sales tactics and promises of quick, effortless success. Research the credibility and background of those offering these services. All right, for people who teach you how to manifest, the best question, I love going on these people's lives or in their comments and asking, give me examples of what you've manifested. Okay? How did you do it? What steps did you take? Like, ask these questions. Where did you learn this? If they're telling you they just read a book, or they read Neville Goddard, or they learned off of Reddit, or if they took one of those life coach certifications, or these certifications are often made by the charlatans themselves. It's a pyramid scheme. All right, number 5, isolation from social networks. The sign is advising you to avoid negative influences, including friends, family, who might be critical. I've had therapists do this too. No contact is tricky. Sometimes you need to do it for your own safety concerns, but ultimately anyone who's helping you heal should be helping you heal your wounds so you can come back into a place to try to make good with the people in your life, unless there's like really serious abuse that just like you can never. I get it, okay? Encouraging isolation from people who provide balanced perspective. So if your friends and family are like, I used to say this back when I was all in on law of attraction too. If your friends and family were like, let it go with that person, you're never gonna end up with it. If they're like, don't talk to them anymore, don't even talk to them because they don't understand what it's like to have a soul tie like this, or a twin flame, or whatever, you can do this. Just don't talk to them about it. What it feels like: increased loneliness and isolation, because it will feel like that when you can't talk to, when nobody understands you, you're isolating yourself. Detachment from supportive and grounding relationships. Okay. How to recognize: notice if you're being encouraged to distance yourself from your loved ones who offer constructive criticism, even if it comes off as a little rough. And then be alert if you feel more isolated and less supported than you did before. All right, number 6, setting unrealistic expectations. The sign claims that anyone can achieve anything if they think positively enough. And then overlooking the importance of external factors and realistic limitations. Like my person that I was trying to, they're saying it, manifest back my twin flame, was the truth. Once I actually talked to him and got to the root of it, is he was an alcoholic who was struggling just to stay alive and was no good for anyone. That was a tactical piece of information that I just fucking missed because I didn't have the conversation, because I would block him until a better version showed up. But when I actually abandoned law of attraction and had the conversation with him, he was like, that's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm no good for anyone and I need help. Can you help me stay alive? So you have to learn the grounded, real things through communication that are external factors and realistic limitations of people. What it feels like: initial optimism followed by frustration and disillusionment because they're not showing up the way you expect, and then a feeling of failure when goals are not met. How to recognize: assess the advice if the advice dismisses practical obstacles and external circumstances, and then be cautious of narratives that ignore realistic challenges and limitations. Ultimately, I believe God or Spirit puts you here to be in right relationship with other people in the earth. So that means working through your own trauma so that you can show up and have grounded, secure conversations with other living people, assuming the best of them, just as you would want them to do of you, so you can work through things from a grounded, real place. Not from avoidance and just magical thinking that it's all going to be okay. You can set an intention and expect to manifest things that you know are part of your vision based on grounded things like your astrology, human design, and shamanic journeys or divination and visions if there's a commonality. But then you have to do a little bit of the work to get there, and you trust God or the divine to get you the rest of the way there.